Alrighty guys, let's take a look at in this video Micron, Sandisk for the memory stocks with SK Hynix and Seagate, how things are looking like. As you can see, we did started to collapse a bit at some critical zones. We'll also take a look at Marvell, Nvidia, AMD, because they are also on the semiconductor side, a little bit not holding on to their recently gained strength. And the rest here, Intel, TSM, and Broadcom is also what we'll take a look at, because Intel after earnings as well is just not able to hold, right? So how are things looking like in the world of memory stocks and AI stocks in this video? Now, before going further, as always, none of this is any financial advice, only for education purposes, just sharing my opinion. Please do your own thing. Now, before we jump into these semis and memory stocks, I want to emphasize that this week is a very important week. We have big tech earnings. Okay, now if you are interested to not just understand about the market sentiment but also my risk management principles, especially in this video, it's almost an hour long video. Not just the price action and the trade plans I have talked in this video, I have also explained in depth concepts on risk management principles that I employ with examples of these very stocks. So check this video out if you are interested on my channel. All right, big tech earnings week, guys. Okay, and learn my risk management principles. All right, let's get back over here. So Micron is losing $950, which we wanted to stay above and close above, especially on Friday, due to this recently gained rebound strength above 890, which did regain more strength above 950. It continued above that for 3 days, but Friday it decided to give up. And that's the whole thing. As I have said to you guys previously also, we have to position and risk manage ourselves. Okay, we have to trade the price action, and when price action says that is no longer in our play, that's where our risk management has to be, which in this case stop losses or whatnot if you are trading and all, right? Now this is where, let's get to the hourly interval. This is where things a little bit get dicey, because this week can also be a bit choppy and noisy, because we do have earnings week of big cap tech stocks. Now whatever they say, something may affect these stocks one way or the other. But the point is that technically looking at it, 950 below, we are in the weakness right now. Only if we regain from where we are above again 950, then only you have a chance for a turn around again to the upside. Otherwise, this very zone continues to become your new existing resistance zone, no longer a support zone, a resistance zone, unless we regain this. Okay. So, and you can see, yes, 950 exactly precisely at my significant level. We did see a bounce there, rejected because we lost it, right? Exactly. My levels work so precisely, guys, and my tools marks all these levels automatically for you. If you need my tools, you will get them in the description of this video. And guys, you may also get my free DRAM portfolio. Don't miss out. Don't miss out. All right, check out the details if you are interested in getting access to my DRAM portfolio, guys. Memory is where you gotta be building a portfolio, but you don't want to be buying blindly. You need to know how to optimize the portfolio. All right, but hey, it doesn't mean DRAM is just gonna go up. No, right now it's going down, so it can go down, but you have to understand how to trade it, how to build positions. I'm building a DRAM portfolio, and a lot of strategies I'm employing, and many members are there already. So if you are interested, details are in the description of this video. All right, so unfortunately the next level again on Micron at this point comes down to this zone here, and that is around again 830 zone. I'm just gonna pick a midpoint value, but you get my point. This is the zone. And so yeah, right now unfortunately below 950, our bias again is to the downside on Micron starting this week. As we stay below that, expect at least the weakness. Only above 950 things will turn around possibly. Sandisk on the other hand also did the oopsie doopsie, right? So it was trying to hold 1600 above, which it did commit. Then 1500 was the pullback getting bought up also, but Fridays just decided to give up it all. All right, so let's get to the hourly interval, and that's pretty much the thing, is that once we start to lose that very zone of 1500, you can see once we try to flush that, rejection in the rebound happened right there, and we continued lower. At this point, the door is to again 1323 area, the zone below, and you cannot look really upside on this thing. Again, above 1550 is the zone technically for the possible upside, but I'll give you this as a zone, right? Like, you cannot really look upside on this thing as we continue to stay below this 1500 to 1600 zone. Sandisk unfortunately has decided to stay in the right now negative structure. Rebounds which were turning around almost bullish, and that's why right when the things are turning around, you can slowly nimble through the position, so that, and then definitely when the structure loses, you gotta get out. That's the whole point if you're trading. But the point is that definitely that short was getting negated here. That's the whole point. You are doing risk management. If you're doing short, that's your risk management area to start getting out on the short. And unfortunately losing the bottom again is where you are no longer on the long side anymore. And that's the whole point. Now sure, you can look in the hindsight. Really, we want to really play this game? Okay, I have explained this to you multiple times. Hindsight is the enemy of your smartness. Okay, if that makes sense. Hindsight is what makes foolish people feel intelligent about themselves. Okay, so in hindsight, you could have even held over here and things may have never come back, right? That's the whole point. In the hindsight, you could have said, oh, I can buy here, right? So, but well, my point, what I'm trying to explain is that you can be 100% accurate looking things in the hindsight, and that's why it's important to follow the risk management, because here you don't know if weakness will come again, and here as of right now you don't know if the bullishness will come again. And that's why you have to follow what the price action is telling you right then and there, and all these areas I tell you beforehand, and my tools marks all these levels automatically for you in advance, that you can understand, and my videos will teach you, onboarding videos, how to use these tools as well. So yeah, and so that's the thing. It's in the decline, and unfortunately below 1500 area we will remain in the decline on Sandisk. Now Kospi will open later this evening. We'll take a look at it. That's again, like last time I did the video on Kospi, you guys didn't check out much of it. Kospi is struggling at critical zone. If many of you would have seen this video, you would have been prepared about already Friday, guys. Okay, and that was the whole point. Now after I mentioned it on Friday that you didn't check out this video, then some more views came on this video, but this was the video. So I don't know if I really want to do in the evening today for Kospi, because you guys are not serious. Tell me you are serious. If you are serious, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. All right, because you gotta be serious to manage money, guys. It's no joke. Okay, you want to become something in life, you gotta be a doer. Okay, not a lazy person. All right, so well, SK Hynix at this point, like its prior context, as I have said to you guys previously also, that is in the decline from the Korean market side. Okay, so like SK Hynix on the Korean market is still in the decline here, and today evening will define more, like technically it's in the downtrend. I expect it to continue lower. We'll see though. But right now SK Hynix here also, it's technically in the decline. So yeah, it did try to gain some area of rebound, but I have been telling you here that it's though on SK Hynix just a part of sideways and rebound phase. It's not like really bullish, because Korean SK Hynix is not bullish. All right, so let's take a look at Seagate now, because Seagate did really give us good jumps. Okay, when I say jumps, like in a good way, like $800 above is what we are expecting, the zone of 937 area. We got that move. Now it is giving up. Now, is this overall bearish? Now, I would say that right now, it's Seagate's price action is definitely better than Micron and Sandisk. Like those ones are like they're proper downtrending. But Seagate is in the near-term weakness, but overall above 800, it can still try to find its base. So let's get to the hourly interval. Okay, and so multi-day, though we are in the weakness, guys. Okay, we tested a significant level. This concept I also, well, not just concept, these concepts are employable across all stocks, but I pinpointed you this very thing. We tested a significant level, very close, almost touched it. It didn't quite touch it, but penny to penny. Oh, so well, very close, like in penny proximity. And that's why these levels are so important. And then once we broke the one lower, that means a multi-day weakness has started, and you can see lost that. It tried to react at the next significant level for 3 hours, couldn't hold, came down, tried to then hold the next significant level. But the point is that this is where it's reacting, but the direction is negative. But significant levels is where you are managing your position. You are trying to understand what the price action is doing next. You will see the price action react at my levels marked by my tools, especially the significant levels. Very important. Don't trade blindly, guys. So Seagate remains in the weakness. Multi-day strength will take a while on this to regain again. That will a day or two before we stabilize here. But again, as I said, multi-day weakness is there. Nothing is stopping from multi-day weakness to turning into overall weakness that will be below 800. So we have to see price action at these through significant levels. So for example, how this significant level will come helpful in identifying the upside comeback again, just like it helped us to know when the downside will begin. We tested a significant level above, broke the one below, multi-day weakness started. This momentum strength is gone, that means, right? Similarly, for the upside strength to come back again, the recent level that we tested, we have to gain the significant level above, and then strength will come in, at least on the, in this case, on the hourly interval multi-day case. Okay, this is how simple it is to use my tools. Get them right now from the description of this video. All right, so that's Seagate. All right, let's get to Marvell. Now, Marvell is also very simply put it, this is pretty much the scenario I talked to you guys. Bounce here, rejection here, exactly that's what's happening. It remains in the downtrend and negative direction still. Nvidia, let's talk about Nvidia, because Nvidia did something that is not new. Okay, it's been sideways for forever, right? Now, it is really not like multi-day tradable. It is day tradable and swing long in a way that if you have a wider stop loss net, you can't really do it this multi-day, because 2 days you are up, 2 days you are down, 2 days you are up, 2 days you are down, and every day you're gonna be changing position. It's just stressful. Anyhow, like it is like 204 above, technically the structure is still to the upside. It's just that if it loses it, that's it, that is it. And what I'm not liking is that it did the test again up here at that very zone of significant levels and rejected again, even though it is above 204. But if it loses it, you know, it's gonna again start dropping. So just keep that in mind. AMD also liquidity, so it came back roaring back quite quickly up there. Like, what is this $100 move in like 3-4 days? Are you kidding me? Yeah, $100 move in 3-4 days. This is what we are dealing with now. Okay. Like, you know, I remember those good old days, 2018, 19. Like, things were still, you know, yeah, they were like decently always, you know, making, like, never had this much volatility in the market. Things were like good, like things were not chaotic, right? Things were not chaotic. Things were, even though they were up and down, but they were like, they were, back then the financial markets were more for very few. Okay, it was not like everyone was in there. So anyways, so, and it was really not like this much of eyeballs and prominence now it gets nowadays, like from everywhere. Back then it was more like people really didn't do themselves much. They were more just not even doing anything in the stock market. Economies were back then different. It was more like financial institutions doing the things and all in the stock market. And people just invested like through whatever bank or they did. But nowadays everyone is mostly doing individually, which is good. That's the way it should be. You should always learn to manage your own money. And but anyways, so AMD is again selling off in the liquidity zone. Look, as I have said, you cannot do much here. You cannot do much here. You should not do much here. Let it chop around whatever. Okay, so unfortunately it's losing 530 again, but it's not that loss, but it is definitely a liquidity zone up there, still really not letting it do much. Let's see how this week opens on AMD. Technical levels are to 530. If we can gain 530 again, it can try to make a run up again. If it doesn't, well, downside continuation. So all right, let's take a look at ARM. And ARM here is still in the downtrend, exactly as told you. Bounce, rejection, got exactly that, coming down, remains in the still negative structure for us here. Okay, Broadcom still choppy, still sideways. I don't have any position. I'm not interested in having a position in this thing. Just choppy, my friends, just choppy. Okay, so this is exactly what I told you and my members. If I didn't tell you, I did told my members, but that was like when I got out here and I was like, I just don't want to build it because I expected to just stay choppy here. And look at it, came back up, bam, still choppy. If you want to do it, look at as for long term or whatever, like swing also, but have a stop loss below 354, nothing more than that. TSM unfortunately is also coming down. It was part of a rebound though from this zone that I was expecting. It did a little bit breach up, but one candle is not sufficient for much. 421 as was the zone, rejected, continuing lower, and thus remains in the negative structure. Now, as I said, we do have earnings around. AMD earnings are still a while away. We do have a Seagate earnings, so keep an eye on that one. That's on, I think, Tuesday. SK Hynix, well, at least I don't know if they're gonna do separate NASDAQ SK Hynix earnings. I don't think so. I think wait, was it Samsung? I think that was Samsung. But here on TradingView, it doesn't show accurately here. I think maybe SK Hynix earnings are around. I don't think they did it, so just keep an eye on that. And then Micron already did theirs, so ARM earnings are also around. So if anything has to change, earnings may do it, but nothing more than that at this point. Okay, Intel had its earnings, poor thing. It did go in the post market up a little bit and then started to give up all the gains. It lost the yellow zone, and that was it. Right, that was it. Poor thing, couldn't really stabilize itself above that zone, and thus overall weakness remains, and this thing is also in the decline right now. Alright, you guys, well, that's all I had for you in this video. I know right now things are not looking good in the market. Like, not just now your tech stocks have been selling off, but your memory stocks are also selling off, right? Like, where is the buy? And sometimes in the market, everything can be selling off, but you can still manage your positions. Learn more about my risk management principles and much more in this video that I have done for my members. All right, guys, with that, I'll see you in my next videos. Take care. Bye.